Hi, and welcome back to the Modern Hippie Girl podcast. Thank you so much for coming back and watching these videos and listening to this podcast. I am so happy that you guys are loving these podcasts. I've gotten such good feedback, and I already have gotten, so many requests for different subjects, and today is one of those subjects. I got asked to talk about intermittent fasting, and so that's what this episode's going to be about. And I'm so excited to talk about it because I think for most people, they only know probably the weight loss benefit of it. I would like you guys to know that there's a lot more that comes along with intermittent fasting than just weight loss, and it has so many different aspects to it. You guys, you have no idea like how important it is for us all to be doing intermittent fasting. So I have intermittent fasting as part of my program. Nothing crazy. We're just doing 12 hours. Okay. So that's the beginning of a gentle intermittent fasting at 12 hours. So let's say ideally that's like 7 to 7, right? You eat your dinner at 7 and you don't eat breakfast till 7 in the morning. I think that's easy enough for most people, right? But there's so many benefits to doing intermittent fasting. One being that, you're going to start to see weight loss if you can eat at the same times every single day. Your stomach is going to get a rest while you're sleeping, which is really, really good for repairing your digestion. It's going to help with hormone balance, and it's going to help with insulin sensitivity and balancing your blood sugar. But the biggest benefit to intermittent fasting, and the reason that we do intermittent fasting is so we can get into something called autophagy. So autophagy is basically when your body goes in and it's like a little cleaning crew to get rid of all of the dead cells in your body to make room for your body to make new cells. And if we're not doing this, we just have more and more dead cells in our body. And if we're not creating new cells in our body isn't functioning optimally. So intermittent fasting is actually really, really great for longevity. It's really, really great for energy. It's really, really great for your brain health, your gut health. There's so many different aspects to it. Now, obviously, there are different levels. Okay, so like I said, 12 is like the beginner level. That's where you're going to see, slight benefits to, digestion, blood sugar, hormone balance, things like that. But you're actually not going to start to go into autophagy until you hit the 14-10 mark. That is when you start to do a gentle autophagy. Okay. At this point, your body is actually starting to eat its own fat as energy. And at this point, this is where your body is going to start to see the benefits of autophagy. But where we really, really get into accelerated autophagy is 18 hours or beyond. This is where you're really, really going to see your energy levels are better. You're sleeping better. It's going to start really helping with your circadian rhythm. It's really going to help you with insulin sensitivity. It's really going to help your gut because you're giving your gut such a break during those 18 hours that you are going to give it a chance to actually repair itself. And if you've listened to my gut health episode, you know that it is so important for us to give our gut a break in order for it to be able to repair itself, right? And so at 18 hours, you are really giving yourself that opportunity. Now at 24 hours, and this is something that you don't need to do constantly, especially as women, okay? Women have to be very careful about doing longer intermittent fasting. Because once we do it for too long, especially if you do it at certain times of the month where you're in the luteal phase, you can really start to mess with your cycle and you can start to mess with your hormones. It is not something that you want to do on a constant basis, okay? I would say women, for the most part, should never go past the 16-hour mark unless you're doing a 24 to 72 hour fasting And that should only be done when you're not in the luteal phase and when you are going to be, I would say, having downtime and not having to do a lot of life. Okay. The reason I say this is because we are constantly, like, our bodies are constantly doing a lot of stuff, right? Our hormones control everything. And so we don't want to be doing 24 to 72-hour fasts. I would say more than every 3 months at the most. We need food, right? Even though there are the benefits of autophagy and all the other benefits that I talked about, you're also needing to nourish your body to have your hormones in balance. So, like I said, women, I would say, should not be doing more than 16-hour fasts. Ideally, I would say women should be doing 12 to 14 hours max on a constant basis. When you are eating, though, okay, I think this is where a lot of people get into trouble. I think we think that because you are doing intermittent fasting and you aren't eating for such a large period of time, that when you do eat, you can kind of just go hog wild. And that is absolutely not the case. You still need to be nourishing your body properly, because at that point, what are you doing? Because if you're doing something so profound for your optimal health, such as getting into autophagy and letting it go through and get all the zombie cells out of your body, why are you then in turn going to go in and start eating things that are going to hurt your body, right? Because we know that food is medicine, and we are either helping our body or hurting our body by what we put in our mouth. So you should still be eating clean. You should still be eating balanced meals. You should not be just going and getting bad food because you know that you just fasted and your body is now burning fat. You're basically doing your body a disservice by eating crap when you just did something so great for it with all the benefits of intermittent fasting. Does that make sense? Although there are, weight loss benefits to intermittent fasting, I want you guys to really, really take it seriously if you're going to do it. And timing is everything. Consistency is everything. If you decide to intermittent fast, make sure that you are consistent. If you say that it's going to be from 7 to 7, it's 7 to 7. You can't do it 7 to 7 one day and 8 to 8 the next day and then change it back to 7 to 7. You need to be consistent for it to work. There's a lot of things that go along with intermittent fasting being successful, and consistency is definitely one of them. Eating properly is another, and making sure that, like I said, if you're a woman, that you're not doing accelerated intermittent fasting during the luteal phase of your period. Are you sick and tired of feeling sick and tired? The Modern Hippie Girl Reset is a 3-phase holistic wellness program designed to help women reconnect with their bodies and create real, lasting health from the inside out. In this program, you'll get precise meal plans, hormone and gut healing protocols, stress management tools, blood sugar balancing tips, and an extensive holistic health education to help you keep your results for life. Plus, there's optional personalized coaching to support you every step of the way. If you've been feeling off, overwhelmed, or stuck, this is how we'll get back to feeling like your best self again. Check out all of our programs at modernhippiegirlwellness.com. These things are key. You will see such a difference in your body pretty quickly if you do this consistently and you stick to it. It's just about making sure that you kind of have a game plan. You know exactly what your benefits that you're looking for, because each time frame has different benefits. So at 16, you are going to be burning more fat and improve your insulin sensitivity. You are going to reduce brain fog and have more mental clarity and boost mood. The last thing is, like I said, you are going to be helping your gut heal, and you're really going to be helping repair your gut microbiome. So this is why I say max should be 16 for women. Okay, there's a lot of benefits right there that women are looking for, and you are getting into enough autophagy that you are seeing the benefits that you should be from intermittent fasting. When we get to 18, This is where things really, really start to shift. One of the biggest shifts that you're going to see at 18 hours plus is a difference in your leptin and ghrelin hormone. Those are your hunger hormone and your full hormone. So this is when it tells your body that you're hungry and when it tells your body that you're full. If you listen to my what was it, my gut health video that I talked about this, I believe so. I was talking about how most of our leptin and ghrelin hormones are out of whack, right? Because how many times do we go out, we eat, and we're like, oh my gosh, I'm so full, I'm so stuffed. We overate, and now we're bloated, and we're like, how the heck did my body not say, stop eating, you're so full? Well, because when you constantly are pushing that button and going over that line, at one point, your hormone is like, well, we told her she was full, but she didn't listen. So I don't think this signal is working. I'm not going to use it anymore. And so then we just start eating as much as we want, not ever feeling full until we're so full that we're uncomfortable. So at 18 hours, you're going to recalibrate your ghrelin and your leptin, and you're going to be able to see the benefits of having that full hormone actually work. And that hunger hormone is going to work even better, so that when you are hungry, you don't go from hungry to starving. When we get hangry, that is your body's leptin and ghrelin being out of whack. The other thing that you're going to start to see benefits in is your mitochondria. Our mitochondria is our energy cells in our body. Okay. So like I was talking about earlier with autophagy going in and taking out all the dead cells, they call them zombie cells because they're just dead in your body. Now your body can create new cells, right? And so when they create those, I mean, think of how much energy little kids have, right? When you have new cells, that's energy, right? As we get older, when we start to get really tired as we get older, it's because our mitochondria is affected, okay? Most of the time, when we are getting older and we are starting to experience a lot of fatigue, it's because it's a mitochondrial imbalance. One of the best things that you can do to fix your mitochondria and get your energy back is to do intermittent fasting. So if you are a man, 18 hours is probably the best time frame for you. Women, like I said, 16. When you're in the 18-hour mark, I would say you should only be eating 2 meals a day. When we shift to the 24-hour mark, you're probably only going to eat 1 meal a day, and that one meal is going to be significant. You're not going to eat the same size meal that you would had you been, just eating lunch or something like that. You need to be eating all of your calories at once for the whole day. So it's going to be pretty significant. Does that make sense? Once you get into full autophagy, at this point, your body is going to start to detox. Okay? When we start to detox, this is where you are going to start experiencing flu-like symptoms, and you're going to start to feel sick. And it's harder, right? Because now it's been 24 hours without food. I want to preface this, and I hope that you guys are listening when I say this. When you are doing intermittent fasting, you need to make sure that you are drinking water and that you have your minerals in your water, because we need to make sure that our body's still getting nutrients. We cannot survive without water, and you need to make sure that your body is staying hydrated. So electrolytes, minerals, your best friend, okay? One of the things that I think is worth mentioning is that when you are going through those detoxifying symptoms, it's your body talking to you, right? Basically saying, hey, this is all the stuff that we probably need to get rid of in our body. This is great. Stick with us. You're going to feel better on the other end. Okay? Just make sure you're drinking lots of water. You'll get through it. You're doing wonderful things for your body at this point. But 24 hours is hard. I will say, because I've done this before, once you pass the 24-hour mark, it actually gets easier. So I've done a I didn't make it to 72 hours. I think I got to 50. It was a little over 2 days. I think it was like 2.5 days, maybe 60 hours. And I will tell you, after the first 24 hours, it got a lot easier to not be eating. I think it's more so of like a habit. You're used to eating. You're used to putting things in your mouth at certain times of the day. You just kind of forget about it, and you don't even realize like how much extra time you have for your life because you're not thinking about food, eating food, sitting down to eat food, going to the place to eat food, cooking, all that stuff. It's insane. Like but it does get easier, I promise. But at 36 to 72 hours, this is when your body is doing an immune system reboot. There have been many, many studies that have shown that if you can do a 72-hour fast, you can reset your body. What does that mean? All of the stuff that we are constantly feeling and suffering from can basically be recalibrated by doing a 72-hour fast. But like I said, for women, you don't want to be doing it more than, I would say, every 3 months. But there are some gigantic benefits from doing a 72-hour fast. Okay? Just don't do it during the luteal phase. You're going to get rid of chronic inflammation. You're going to reset your gut microbiome. You're going to balance your blood sugar. You're going to start to balance your hormones. Your hormones are going to be a lot better within 72 hours. Just can't do it constantly, like I said. You're also going to see eating addictions that you might have, like maybe you have like a sugar craving all the time or a salt craving all the time. Those are going to actually recalibrate themselves as well, and you will not have those anymore after doing a 72-hour fast. There's this part at 72 hours where you kind of feel like I want to keep going. I think the longest that somebody did a water fast was like a year. It was a little over a year or something like that. It's crazy. But obviously you're going to lose weight. We know this because your body's eating its own fat, but you're going to see a lot of different benefits just from the 72 hours. You're going to feel like a completely different person in 72 hours. So I wanted to jump on here and talk about intermittent fasting because I do think it's really, really important. I do think that everybody should be doing at least a 12-hour fast every single day and consistently. And I mean, think about it. What do we do every night that sabotages our health? We drink alcohol until whenever we stop before we go to bed, and we eat late night snacks, ice cream, something salty, whatever. And those things are really hindering our health and making it so that we cannot attain our goal, right? So when you're fasting and all you're drinking is water from 7 to 7, you're really giving your body a break and you're doing something amazing for it. So I hope that gives you a better understanding of intermittent fasting and how it can really, really help you. But like I said, as long as you're doing it correctly, and as long as you know when you are in the luteal phase, if you are a girl, and you have a game plan and you're eating right and everything, you can still exercise, all that stuff. You just need to make sure you have your caloric intake up. But if you have a plan and you have a game plan and you stick to it, you will see incredible results. So, okay. This is a short episode, but I just wanted to hop on here because I got asked to talk about intermittent fasting. So I wanted to jump on here and do so. But if you guys have other subjects you'd like me to talk about in holistic health, please DM me because I'd love to, put an episode out there for you about that subject because obviously it's something that you're curious about, right? Okay. I think that's it for intermittent fasting, and I will see you guys in the next episode. Bye!